Well, Shirley,
Yes.
welcome to our studio. I think you're going tomorrow after about 4 or 5 days of stay in our country.
A little longer than that, Catinca. I got here on Friday the 13th, and I was supposed to go home on the 17th, but as you see, I stayed on, and I've had a very wonderful visit. Can I say bună ziua to the people of Romania, or bună seara, because your program comes on
In the afternoon. Well, both
Is it
go.
bună ziua time or bună seara time?
It's in between.
Oh,
Bună ziua
my.
and bună seara. If you say both is all right.
Bine, bine.
People in Romania know you very well from your films and from your activity. I mean, your earlier activity, because now I understand you have an entirely different sort of activity. And that's why I wanted to ask you first, what made you switch to an entirely different sort of activity? Because usually when people do movies no more, they still remain in the, let's say, artistic or movie department. And you are dealing with an entirely different sort of environment, with environment.
Yes. Well, Catinca, perhaps it's because I started working in films at the age of 3. And I worked until I was about 22 years old. And then I met Charlie Black, who is my handsome husband. And I retired from the films, and he was immediately recalled into the Navy. And we lived in Washington, D.C. for 2.5 years. It was during this period, from about 1950 to now, that I became more interested in the problems of the real world instead of the problems in the film real world. I like my new career. I work very hard. It's much harder than the entertainment business because we have very long hours at the United Nations, sometimes 12 to 14 hours a day for me working. My title, if you'd like it, will take
Yes,
up your
of
whole
course.
program.
Oh, is it that long?
It's a long title, but I would like the people to know it. I am the Deputy Chairman of the United States Delegation to the United Nations Conference on the Human Environment. This will be a 2-year job for my country and for the other participating countries, and it will culminate with a meeting in Stockholm, Sweden, an international meeting on problems of the human environment in 1972.
Maybe you could explain just in a few words what this human environment business means, because I mean, maybe for the, people who
Yes,
are not really
yes.
connected with it. It's air pollution and things like that?
It's most everything that happens in life. I think one way to explain it would be to say that the air that circles our planet travels without benefit of passport. And so does the sea, so do the oceans that wash every shore on Earth. So therefore, pollution from one country is quickly carried by the air to another country. And even though the air is blown away from factories here in Romania, eventually it will come back because it will go in a big circle. So it's very important for all of us in the world to start taking notice of the problems of our environment and to find out we can no longer throw our debris into the oceans or the rivers. We can no longer blow things up the stack or flush them down the drain. We have to learn to manage our human environment. It's the only one we have.
Tell me, to come back to Shirley Temple, I mean the Shirley Temple our public knows best, do your teenager kids see your pictures?
Well, each one of my children watched my films on television at home until about the age of 7. And after the age of 7, they would find more important things to do. But occasionally, they still do see a few of them.
Good.
Would you like to see their pictures? Is it possible to? No.
Yes, maybe.
We'll see.
We'll
You go
see.
ahead and
Se
ask me
poate,
something.
vrea să arate fotografia
I'll
copiilor, se
rummage
poate
around.
face în... Okay, it's.
Go ahead. It's
I think it would be interesting.
maybe.
Oh,
If it
yes, they'd be
works.
thrilled. Oh, no, it's all right. I think it's very easy.
Dee 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 dee. No, I don't know if it's too shiny.
I think, no, we'll have to take them out.
Okay. Go ahead and ask me something else, and I'll work on this.
Well, what is their attitude versus your films? I mean, when they saw your films, what did they say?
Well, they enjoyed them, and I think that they're.
I mean,
I
did
know
they feel
that
it was someone
they're,
else, or they? I mean, you have a feeling it's
No,
an
they
entirely
know
different
they
sort
know
of
it's
person.
me, but the interesting thing about it, when my son, Charlie Jr., when he was about 3 years old, he's now 18. When he was 3 years old, he saw the movie Heidi.
Oh,
on
Heidi,
television.
yes, and the little girl of the mountains.
Yes, and there's a scene near the end where the militia is chasing Heidi and her grandfather and shooting guns at them. And my little boy grabbed my arm and he said, "Mommy, did you get killed?"
Oh, God.
And he said, "Oh, no, of course not. You're here." So some of it was
How old
very
was he?
realistic, only about 3.
Oh,
This is Laurie Black, who is now 16 years old. And I think she
She's
has a
very
slight
pretty.
resemblance to Mona Lisa,
she
but
is.
not the same temperament.
No.
This is Susan Black, who's 22 years old. I hope I'm doing it all right for you.
Yes, I think
Okay?
so. It's okay.
Thank you. I'll never get this all put back together now, but we'll do it later.
Well, I heard you at the press conference you had with our journalists telling something about the youth and the problems of the youth nowadays. And you're thinking that, well, news nowadays is a little different from what it used to be in, well,
Yes,
let's
I
say nowadays.
Katinka, that the young people of the world today are the most intelligent, the most idealistic, not materialistic, and I think that there's a general wish in the world among young people for peace. I think a lot of this has been caused because of the rapid communication that we have in the world today.
Mass media.
Mass media. Particularly when the whole world can share a moment together, like the landing on the moon by our astronauts. This was a wonderful thing that really brought us together. It was something for humanity.
Well, it was also meant that way, I think.
Sure, sure.
Well, Shirley, what about your earlier, your earlier career and, one of the memories, the funny memories you have? You know, all actors have
May
funny
I-
stories happening to
yes.
them.
I'd like to tell a story that happened on live television. I did about 50 hours of live television from 1959 to 1961, and I enjoyed this very, very much. But one time, I was doing a television show with a real lion, and he was very big, and he had very big teeth, and he was supposed to come in, it was a musical number, he was supposed to come in from stage right, and I was supposed to come in from stage left, and I was supposed to scold him. So ever since I was a little girl, I have liked to balance on the cables, the electrical cables around studios. And so I was doing a quick change.
This sort of thing.
Yeah, this sort of
I'm
thing
sorry.
is perfect, yes. And so I was doing a quick change. The wardrobe lady was changing my clothes, and I was standing there rocking back and forth, and suddenly beside me was "Rawr," like that.
The lion.
The lion was on the wrong side of the stage, and I was rolling on his tail. So as you can imagine, Katinka, when we went out to do the musical number with the lion, I didn't get too close to him because he was looking at my feet with great interest.
Well, thank you. That was a very nice story. And now, well, to conclude, maybe you could tell me a few of your impressions of your stay in Romania.
Well, everybody has been most kind, most generous. I've had lots of kisses on the cheek, lots of hugs, and the men have been very gallant and kissed my hand. And I'm going to be very spoiled when I get home, and I'm just plain mother again.
Well, you're not plain mother again. You're also a representative at the United Nations.
Yes, but when I'm home, I'm the chief cook and the gardener and the chauffeur, and I do everything.
And Charlie Black's wife.
Oh, that's the most important.
Well, I hope it was a nice stay and you enjoyed your stay. And, well, the weather was nice and...
Gorgeous weather. I was up in Brasov, Sinaya, up to Poyana, the mountains. And last night I had a wonderful long walk around the beautiful city of Bucharest. So I think the thing I appreciate the most, besides the warmth of the people here, is the appointments that I've been able to have with exchange of information with the medical experts and with the experts on the problems of the human environment. And I feel that it's been a very constructive visit for my work as well as for my heart.
Well, thank you very, very much, Shirley. Thank you very much.
Mulțumesc and la rivedere.
Thank you.
Thank you.